trailer. Basically, we're just going to be using two separate layers in the timeline. We've got a graphic layer and we have a color matte layer. So once you have your sequence, you're going to go ahead and go up to File, New, Color Matte. This should be set to your sequence settings, so you can just go ahead and say OK. Then we're going to scroll down to the greens, and we're going to use the circle color picker to choose kind of a bright green that looks like the green band. Once you have your color selected, you can go ahead and say OK, and you can name it green band, and again say OK. That is then going to end up in your project window, and I can find that here as green band 2, just as I labeled it. So I'm just going to drag that over to my timeline onto video track 1, and there I have my green background. Next, I'm going to open up the graphics panel if it's not already open, and I'm going to go to Browse, where I'm just going to search for the basic title. Basic title is just plain white on a black background. I'm going to grab it from the graphics panel, and I'm going to stack it on video track 2 right over top of my green band. It's going to give me a warning that the font is not installed. That's okay. I'm just going to click OK. And I'm noticing the edges here don't quite match up, so I'm just going to drag that and snap it so they're both the same duration. All right, so now I have your title here in kind of a funky font. So basically, I'm just going to grab my type tool next, and I'm going to type the 3 lines for the green band, and I'm going to make sure I use all caps. The following preview has been approved for, and I notice that I'm going off the screen. That's okay. I'm going to hit enter, all audiences, enter again by the Motion Picture Association of America. So now that I have everything typed, now I can fix it, and I have to go back and get my selection tool or my arrow before I can even start to fix anything. So I'm just going to drag this box over so I can find the edge and shrink this down so that it fits nicely inside of my window. Obviously this font is a little bit funky, so I'm just going to go over to my fonts here and choose Arial Black just as standard, and look, my size has changed, so again I just need to adjust the size. Our preview also has a drop shadow, so I want to make sure that I go down here with my text selected and turn on my drop shadow. And then we also notice that the word preview and the words all audiences are bigger than the rest of the text. So I'm going to go back to my type tool, and I'm just going to double click preview, and I'm going to drag the size a little bit bigger. 125 looks good. Now I'm going to highlight all audiences, and I want it to be the same, so I'm just going to click and type 125, enter. Looks pretty good. I think I can make this a little bit smaller and center it a little bit more. I can actually snap it to the center here with Align and Transform. One thing is that it's a little bit crunched up, so I'm going to adjust the distance between the lines here by just dragging this down just a touch to make it look a little bit more professional. And there we go. There we have our green band.